Hey everyone, Spaceman Spiff here, and after taking a little bit of a break for the Provisional Showdown, I'm back with another Crimson Rampage spoiler video. I got a lot of ground to cover, so without wasting any time, let's get into the cards. First up on our list today, we have Nato Monoma, and oh my god are we starting off with a wacky card today. Monoma is a 6 hand size, 26 health character on All Good and Life. He has 136 abilities, but I'm only going to be going over the first two. The first is Response. Once per game, after your attack deals damage, gain all abilities on your rival's character for the rest of the game, and this ability cannot be cancelled. And Enhance. Your attack gains a keyword trait of your choice. If it gained Taunt, this attack gets +1 damage. Monoma is going to be the ultimate meta slayer. Tired of losing to Kirishima? But you also want to be Kirishima? Now you can, with the +1 hand size. Neat! It's also worth noting that enhanced attacks do keep the keyword trait for the entire combat phase, but they won't work with combo cards unless they have the correct trait printed on them, as combo abilities look at printed traits. I can't see this card being top tier threat most of the time, but I bet someone comes in and snipes a tournament with him when the meta is just right. What he's really going to be best at is making you feel like a smart cookie every time you play him. Every matchup is going to play out totally different, and he's going to be so fun to play. I can't wait to start building with Monoma. Monoma's attack is Copy Harden, a 4 difficulty 4 high for 3 with a 2 high block, Breaker 1, and the ability Enhance, add 1 foundation from your stage to your hand. This attack gets +3 damage. I really love the design of this card, and I would not be upset if all of his support cards were templated like this, just cool takes on other heroes' abilities. This attack in particular is very versatile. It's only the second high block with Breaker that's been printed, and it is of course more support for Coordinated Effort. But it only shares the good symbol with it, which is not one of Coordinated's strongest symbols. Also, while having a ways to pick up attacks you build with Coordinated Effort is really good and part of what makes that card so strong, it does have diminishing returns, as you can only build 1 attack per turn with Coordinated. And even then, this is one of the weaker ways to achieve that effect, since it doesn't replace itself on board, which is most of the reason that Hardened Jab sees so much play. I'd never want to just run this out on turn 2 and debuild myself just to get blocked, but the Breaker High Block goes a long way in that regard, since I don't mind keeping this in hand. There's a lot of cards that do all of these things but better, but not a lot of cards that do all of these things together. Up next, we have another prominent villain, Himiko Toga, a 7 hand size, 20 health character on Death, Evil, and Life. She has 2 abilities, Enhance, lose 1 health, your attack gets +1 speed. If your attack is blocked, your rival loses 1 health, and your next attack gets +1 speed. This cannot reduce your rival below 1 health. And Response, twice per turn, after your rival loses health, gain 1 health, draw 1 card, and discard 1 card. Himiko is so aggro. Fittingly, she's going to be the absolute queen of poking. Blocking her attacks is just going to be so unappealing. 7 cards per turn plus 2 loot effects every turn is also a ton of selection. You'll be able to sculpt your hand very nicely. The response is also interesting on your opponent's turn. Some decks will have to think twice about activating effects that lose themselves life when playing against Toga. Throws and other guaranteed damage effects will also act as life gain for her, since she won't have to activate or enhance to trigger her response. This might make her one of the most defensive 7-handers, actually, with an effective HP of like 25 or something like that if you play her correctly. She's very well rounded. I can see her doing pretty well. Himiko's bonus reveal was Knife Slice, a 5 difficulty 5 low for 5 with a 1 mid block and the abilities Enhance. The next time your rival loses health this combat phase, they lose 1 health and you gain 1 health. And Deadlock Enhance, your rival loses 2 health. Common attacks like this are almost never impressive in their stat line, and so they mostly only see play when they do something unique, or fit in an attack package. 5 low for 5 is not terrible stats, but maybe isn't quite worth it for 5 difficulty. But this card is currently the only attack that exists that can gain you life. I'm really starting to see a defensive Toga deck that pokes to gain life and sculpt the right blocks. Both Death and Evil give access to super regeneration, and Good has Battle Resolve and Recovery Girl's Kiss. Maybe Toga is our first 30 health 7-hander. Lastly for this video, we have Ibara Shiozaki, a 7 hand size, 19 health character on Earth, Life, and Water, the 3 plantiest symbol in UVS, so the flavor is on point at least. Ibara Shiozaki has 2 abilities, Enhance, this attack gets -1 damage, and your next attack gets +3 damage. And Enhance, once per turn, your next low attack ignores progressive difficulty. I really like both of these enhances, but she does kind of only really play a certain way, and that'll be trying to throw out long strings. You get to trade damage now for more damage later, and obviously that doesn't do much if you just poke and build. She also gets to make her last attack ignore progressive, as long as it's low, and that is honestly super powerful. So many games come down to, damn, I really just need to one last attack and then they're dead, but this always gives you the out of just checking a 5 to get that last attack. The question is, what low attack is she going to get to take advantage of? The coolest thing we have in set 1 is Reciprocal Acceleration Kick to just absolutely reset your card pool, with the only downside of only having like 3 kicks on Earth right now. Still, that could easily enable playing as many attacks as a turn as you could draw. The other attack Ibara could take advantage of is our newly revealed Creeping Vine Eruption, a 5 difficulty 2 low for 5 throw with a 3 high block and the enhance. If this attack does less than 5 damage, add 1 copy of Faith's Shield from your discard pile to your hand. This is probably going to be a key piece of any Ibara deck. Getting to add a throw to the end of all your chains is nice, and I don't mind paying 5 for a throw. Your minus damage enhance can make sure you always trigger the Faith's Shield pickup, but unfortunately we have no idea what that is. My absolutely random guess is that it's going to be a defensive action card. Either way, throws that draw cards are good, and this can draw more reliably than reverse throw. It's just only draws one specific card, but we'll have to wait to see what that is. And that brings us to the end of our reveal video for today. I'm still catching up from taking some time off from the provisionals, but I'll have the next one out soon. We had some really cool characters in this group. The Monama is going to be wild, and Toga looks like it'll have some variety to her decks. What do you think? Is Toga going to be an aggro deck or a defensive deck? I'll see you in the next video.